Okay, welcome again. It is still good morning, Anambra. That's beautiful Monday morning. And then we are continuing with our discussion segment this morning. My name is Sijama. Ebele is also here with me. Very good night.
Yes, a very good morning. It's amazing. It's been a while. How was the weekend? Let's begin with that. How was your weekend, basically?
Okay, fine.
You're smiling like one who won the jackpot this weekend.
One little babe that just tried to check.
Okay, good. It's good to be here. It's good to be here. Welcome to Good Morning, Anambra.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, we're not alone. Some beautiful ladies have joined us to look at what we have this morning. Let me show you their faces before I tell you what we're going to talk about. They are Chidimma Oramalo. She's a girl child development advocate and albinism counselor. Chidimma, good morning.
Good morning.
You're looking so cute this morning. Okay. And I also have Melvin and Anamaleze. Am I right?
Anamaleze, yes.
Anamaleze, okay. Thank you very much. Civil servant and albinism rights activist. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Melvin is supposed to be a man's name.
It's unisex.
Oh, unisex.
Yes, it's unisex.
It also looks good on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's tell you what we're going to look at now this morning. It is 2020 International Albinism Awareness Day. 2020 International Albinism Awareness Day. That's exactly what we are looking at this morning. And let me start with Chidimma by first of all telling us what is albinism.
Okay, albinism, just like when you see persons that look like me, is lack of melanin in the body system. And
could you please speak up so
okay.
that we understand? If possible, you can
yes, yeah.
You can add it up.
Okay. Albinism is lack of melanin in the body. When a child is in the womb and you notice he has a blonde hair like myself and the skin probably is not as dark as yours, Auntie Che, then there may be traces of albinism. Then albinism has two types, because there are people that are dark as you are but they're still albinos. That's why we have what we call ocular cutaneous albinism, the one that affects the hair, the eye, and the skin, just like mine. And it's mostly, that's the one you see almost everybody. Then there are still people that are dark, but they have what we call ocular albinism. It affects only their eye. So these two types exist in all races, all tribe, or religion. So that's basically what is albinism. It's not a disease, it's not contagious, it is just living in you, and it takes a man and a woman who has the gene for you to have a child with albinism.
Perhaps that's why I want Melvin to come in. How do we have this case of albinism? You know, how does it come, apart from the fact that this is lack of, what do you call it?
Melanin.
Melanin.
It's genetic.
Okay.
It's inherited. Yes, just like she said, this genetic is inherited.
There was something that caught my fancy. She actually said. She said, because you know, over the years we believe, or we feel it's this albinism thing is always with people who are fair. And she said something about it's possible that you can be dark and still be an albino. How is that?
Yes, like what I said, like if it doesn't affect your hair and your skin, but it affects only your eyes, then you have ocular albinism, and it's rare. There are still people who do, and sometimes people, because the ones that are pronounced are the ocular cutaneous, we see people putting on glasses and they don't even know they have albinism. It is maybe that just maybe chocolate color kind of, you understand? And they put on glasses. If they have a medical history, it can be ocular albinism. You understand? And what Melvin said is generic. It must be in your
lineage.
In your lineage. Yeah. If it doesn't, you will not have it. And because it has to do with the gene, the man and the woman must have a trace. It might be about 5th generation past, but once you have it in your gene, one day
must reoccur.
It must reoccur.
Yeah. It must be your gene. So it's not just a case of
no, it must be in the gene.
I would like to take an example. My brother, Samuel, he's fair, just like me. He's an albino, like me. And the wife is very fair, but she's not an albino. Okay. And the child, he has a child, a daughter, and the daughter is just fair. It shows that this wife doesn't have albinism. What they will have is normal fair child. My sister is an albino, he married a dark guy, and her daughter is very fair. It might still be that high, because it may not actually occur in the first pregnancy. It might take second, third to occur if there is a traces of albinism on the part of the man. You understand? So it will actually occur. But if that is not...
Is it advisable for an albino to marry a fair, very fair girl again, or a very fair guy, as the case may be?
I'll get an example of my brother. My brother, growing up, always tell us that he will never have anything to do with a girl that is dark. He abhors that. His wife is fair, like very fair. I don't know how to... Aside... When you come out from this albinism, the next set of fairness, yes, that's how he's a very beautiful lady. And if you see the daughter, very fair, but dark skin. So she's not an albino, but she's very fair.
Okay. Let me add to what she said. You know, there's this other one that affects the hair, the eyes, and the skin. Just like...
No, we're coming to that skin of a thing, because I've looked at your skin. They are very beautiful. And then what we used to know albinos for before is the
black
skin,
spots.
the spots in the skin. But I can't find it in your own skin. Okay? Right. Now that you want to talk about it, will you go ahead? What is the cause of that one?
It's just the sun. The major challenge we albinos have is just the sun. Because we do not have the melanin, okay, on the skin, so we shouldn't be exposing ourselves to the sun. It's the sun that gives the black spots.
Okay, is it possible you tell our viewer what is melanin? Because we have mentioned that word several times.
Okay, melanin is a substance that produces pigments, or rather pigmentations, the hair, eyes, and the skin. But albinos do not have it. You have little, partial.
So that's the main cause?
That is the main cause, yes, lack of melanin in the skin. Yes.
Okay, if I have to explain further, like two of you are dark and you see somebody, maybe somebody, what will I use, somebody I will know, if you're not Chuku, is fairer than you, your level of melanin is thicker than her. That's what it means. Your level of melanin is thicker than her. And if you go to somebody, maybe somebody like Priska, you see she's fairer. Her level of melanin is lighter, you understand? And
Ugona's level of melanin is thicker than mine.
Yes.
The amount of melanin you have determines how dark
you'll be. Yes.
Yes.
Is there some point where someone actually have the opportunity to, what's the word, to see if they could have this balance? You know, because you say if we have the thicker melanin, it means men, it makes you more darker, and if it's lower, then you know someone becomes fairer. There are cases where there could be a balance. You're not dark, you're not fair, you're just there.
What do you mean by balance? Like if you're dark, you trace and you resemble somebody in your family, right? Your dad.
It boils down to this same thing we are still talking about, genetic. Yes. Do you understand? For you to have, for you to be dark skinned, that means your melanin has produced a larger amount of pigment or pigmentation in the body. So we do not have it, and that's why we are very fair.
But even at that, you are still looking very beautiful. Thank you. Let's take a break here. Let's take a break. We want to bring in, we want to bring in something to help us buttress what we are saying now. It is a video I'd like us to watch now.
Nigerians live with albinism, and the genes are contributed by both parents, just like in sickle cell. Fact 2. Skin cancers in albinos is not caused by spiritual attack or witchcraft. Early detection and treatment of skin cancer would save the life of an albino. Fact 3. Skin cancer in albinos is caused by continuous exposure to the ultraviolet rays of the sun and not
I wanted us to look at the effects of salt. Salt, the one we eat, does it have any relationship with melanin or the your skin as an albino? Okay, let me come to you, Chidima.
I would like to, this issue, I would like to use Igbo to explain it.
Go ahead.
Wow, you do choose Igbo because now on your obuna fuginozo or say they say no na de linu, no na de linu na it causes black spots on your skin. Iya wukwasi. Oburu eziokwu. Albinos eat everything you want to eat. Eating raw salt is not good for you that have melanin, so it's not also good for a person with albinism. What causes with those black spots is sun. When if you go out of the sun, you feel it. At the point, you become the constant you're right?
You're right.
So somebody well albinism, even the melanin level is very, very low. So up or now on the reddish. Constant exposure to those sun will now have those black spots, and it's very dangerous.
Really?
Yes,
it is.
It is very dangerous. If you take care of it, it can be cancerous. Continuous exposure of your skin to the excessive sun rays can cause you skin cancer.
Is it for albinism? That's for people with albinism or everybody?
For people with albinism, the chance is extremely high because you don't have the melanin that will protect you from the sun rays. Onye docha, onye the normal chocolate color can just on magie OG, you understand? But the game about albino, it will cause you those black spots, and those black spots can at a point or they can call when they now for the call walonya a very dangerous stage. The next thing can lead to skin cancer, but there is a remedy to it because it's not as if that's remember what we are talking about, and I say no anything to do with black spots. No has nothing to do with black spots. Just normal that now uncooked salt is not good. So give me linear monye doge monye docha linear. But it
okay, because of
high BP,
high blood pressure.
It's the same thing with an albino.
It doesn't have any. It doesn't have any effect.
Okay, now that we have talked about this, let's talk about other things. What are really peculiar to the albinos, or what kind of lifestyle do they expect to live apart from? I mean, different from that of the normal person. Yes,
staying away from the sun. That is just it. An albino can do every other thing someone who is dark complexion does. Do you understand? We have them in different industries. You have one here in ABS. You have them in music.
She's doing very well.
She is. You have them in music. You have them in hospitals as doctors and nurses. You have them in banking industry. So they don't have a particular lifestyle to live. You know, they can fit in anywhere. Just like I said, the only challenge we have is just the sun.
Away from the sun.
Okay.
Being an albino, how has it affected your daily life staying away from the sun?
daily life, like
activities, your daily life activities, because we know that a lot of people get to say albinos as, oh, would they be able to do this? Would they not be able to do that?
A form of stigmatization.
Yes.
I always tell them that being an albino, it's not physically challenged. Do you understand? It's just the absence of melanin on the skin. That is just it. So, for instance, I'm a civil servant. Okay, so she too, she's employed, and we have so many of them who are friends, and they're fitting in anything they do. So I don't think it affects one's life.
How are you able to go about it? Because this stigmatization she talked about, I know it's one big thing, in this part of the world. Have you experienced it?
Okay, I will approach the issue of stigmatization with 2022 Albinism Awareness Team. It says, united in making our voice to be heard. I want to say this. Everybody faces challenges in life. Albinos face challenges, especially complex issues. When you come out, people will boo at you, see on your chest, and all that. You understand? And just like the sun affects you, there are kind of things that you're not expected to do. You can't expect an albino to be walking on the streets. It will actually affect his or her skin. Now, the good thing is this. Aside walking on the street, there are 1,001 things you can do where you have a shade. Thank God for the digital world. Once you have access to learn a skill that will put you under a shade, you don't have to be under the sun. Don't see that thing as a bigger challenge. Everybody has his own problem that he or she is facing. You can't be inside the house for your voice to be heard. You got to add value to the society. And one thing I learned about the society is that, as I am now, when I was in secondary school, because people normally boo you and all that, and because na mama agwa gansa, do you understand? Extremely.
So why would they boo you? Because you are beautiful.
That is the mentality we have.
Do you understand? It's ignorant. And you see these people rarely.
No class. You look out to them. You got to go like
educated, and people outside there are not. Now, what I tell albinos is for their voice to be heard, they need to add value to the society. I wrote myself that
build up your self-esteem.
Yes, I had myself like I'm an albino counselor. I'm not activist. What I do is to talk to people who have low self-esteem, especially the girls. If you conquer your low self-esteem as an albino, you will
go places.
Oh my God, you will go places.
Just like you guys. Okay, but I noticed that some albinos are more beautiful than others. Is it natural, or maybe the way you take care of yourself, or has it got anything to do with riches? Maybe this one is born in a rich family and they were able to take care of her.
Still genetic?
More beautiful as in facial or the skin?
The skin, the facial is just what you see in your family.
Okay.
The skin and then the clouds.
I'll take it from there. For instance, I'll use myself as an example. While growing up, then I didn't understand what my parents were doing. Then I thought they were overprotective. Melvin, don't go under the sun, put on your long sleeve, do this, do that. But as time goes on, and I'm able to understand and appreciate what they have done, because I'll give them kudos to that, because they've helped me a lot in making sure that I safeguard this. I'll use this word, safeguard the skin, because they didn't allow me to expose myself 100% to the sun. Just like we always say, because this skin, our skin, do not have the melanin. I know was sunborn. Yes. And all the sunburn, then you have the red patches and black spots. Yes.
The way we talk about the sun is not as if I'm
between
the hours of 11
to 4.
Yes. You understand?
Then the sun is so high.
Sun is so high.
Yes.
You understand?
Okay.
And if you have to
even
come
if you
out,
want to come out, go with your umbrella
and your sunscreen.
Or your sunscreen.
I was going to ask, for albinos, do you think there's something the government should be doing to treat them differently? What I mean is now, most of them could get to find themselves within this hours you feel they shouldn't be coming out because of the sun. You know, in such cases, do you feel there's something that should be done by the government, both the federal, states, or stakeholders, to protect the albinos?
What I will actually say is any child that's supposed to be in school age should be in school. Most time what we see in parents that are uneducated is they see an albino child, sometimes see them as a curse or whatever, they don't take them to school. An albino child that's supposed to be in the school, the government should help that child to be in school. If you give an albino child an opportunity to be educated, that is the highest thing you can do for that child. Now, the person will take it from there. Because, I don't know, it's not medically proved, but albinos are intelligent.
Yeah, just like you don't like telling people, if
you saw me or booby, I won't tell you answers in the exam. And then
Okay.
Because
actually, apart from sending the child to school, when do we start taking care of an albino baby in the house? You give birth and you discover the baby is an albino.
From that point.
Till the baby grows.
What are you expected to do? What are you, as a mother or as parents, what are you expected to do to make sure that the baby is kept safe and other things as the baby grows up?
Okay, I will say something because my parents did what they actually did. When we say the sun is actually the problem, and when you have a child with albinism, at least between the age of 0 to 1 years, you're still carrying the baby. By the time it's 2 years that he allowed the child to play with the other people outside, make sure you you wear a long sleeve that it covers the skin. You understand? And always have these hats on the child. It will become a style. That's what you normally wear. It helps to protect the skin. Then one of
hats on the head. And then
a long sleeve, you understand?
Okay.
Then
do you also cover your legs with trousers?
Yeah, you wear trousers. Normally you wear trousers. Then one important thing that people should do, people that have albinos in their family, is probably by the time the child gets like primary 1, try to get the child a reading glass. One of the biggest challenges aside the sun is the vision. You understand?
Yes.
At primary 1, you meet a doctor. The doctor have to take because
1 second, please. Somebody has joined us. Yeah, hello. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Your name and location.
Hello?
We can hear you. Good morning to you. Your name and location.
Go ahead. Talk to us.
Okay, my name is Johnson.
And you are calling from
My
where?
name is Johnson.
From where? Johnson.
I'm calling from Ebonyi State.
Go ahead.
Johnson.
I'm calling from Ebonyi State.
Go.
Thank you. I've been impressed by the program. And I just want to comment you guys that you are doing very wonderful. But I have a very important question to ask.
Okay.
To those the ladies there.
Go ahead.
I want to find out what the name of the cream that we use so that we can also know and then be able to help ourselves because we have many of them around us. Many of them don't even know the type of cream to use. They just use anyhow. So we need to know because I can see them. They are very beautiful. They are not talking about being away from the sun. But we also want to know the type of cream
Thank you very much. And that's exactly where we are now. We have started from how do you start taking care of baby as the baby is born and then get to, okay.
Okay,
so, sorry.
Let me, now, when the child is primary one, you know that you need to work on your eye because albino has low vision.
Because of
mostly because the melanin helps to the darkness of your eyes is one of the functions of the melanin. So now you don't have it, so you have low vision. You only see something close to you, you will not see something far. Now when you meet, you know that an optician is your friend, because you need to get to the hospital, they have to prescribe at that point. If you said, okay, maybe you get to 6 or 7 before you start using it, it will help to correct your eye. But I must say something. There may never be, I've not seen, at a point, even at old age, when your eyes will be as that of somebody that has melanin. I'm wearing glasses, she's wearing one, and mostly others, you understand? And when it's on, if you don't even have to wear the medicated glasses, you wear a sunshade. Now, when you grow up, when you come to the age of, let's say, from that age of 6, 7 goes up, you use what we call sun protective formula cream. There are so many of them in the market. Now, it's very important I said this. Some of us that live in sub-Saharan Africa think that it's only albinos that need sunscreen. It's a lie.
It's a lie.
You need sunscreen. The sun is too much over here. But what is important is that the percentage of the sun protective formula, my percentage will be 50%. Your own may be 15, 20.
Or even 30.
Even 30. If you use a sun protective formula cream, then when you get out of the sun, you will not get dark. Then if I use it, I will not get black spots. The sun protective formula cream, personally, as an albino, you use it where you have exposure. It's always small. It's not that big. You understand? And that is where the government comes in again, because it's costly.
Okay.
That's where the government comes in to subsidize those creams. It helps. So you use the sun protective formula cream. Then as a girl, I would like to say this. That's the girl I met about 3 years ago. The mother met me on the way and asked me, please, how do you conquer? Now my daughter is always in the house. She doesn't mix up with anybody. So I invited her to come, and when she came, I couldn't even stand her. You know what she's using? She's using Goya oil. That's what the pastor told her to be using.
Oh, good.
So if I can't even, you understand? And let me make this assertion again. People say that albinos smell. It is not true. If you don't take your bath regularly, you smell.
You have body odor, yes.
You have body odor. We sweat. The sunscreen naturally now may heat. So you use the Chinese like a normal human being. If you don't, you smell. Now, when this lady came to I look at her, I said, look at how you are. And I recommended the sunscreen to go to just normal cream. And she's fine. Do you understand? So the sunscreen helps to protect her against the sun. Then the normal cream, body cream, only use long way. Moisturizer.
Can they use sunscreen as an albino? Doesn't mean that after using the sunscreen, then you get Do you understand? No.
You guys should make more emphasis on that Goya oil you talked about.
Because they use it.
Because
personally, I don't use any cream. Just like the caller said, I don't use any.
That's
cream.
what I wanted to ask.
No, I don't use.
There's no particular cream.
No particular cream. I don't use any cream at all. The only thing I use is just the sun screen.
Okay.
Yes. Personally, I don't use
that's
any.
what he's asking.
Myself.
But it's a business, so you may not need to mention the name. Like you said, there are so many of them in the
so
market.
many of them in the market.
Talking about, is it like a cream too?
It's a cream, yes.
It's a cream, but for people that is a cream, and you sometimes see with some kind of creams, and then SPF. That's where you know
SPF 30, SPF 50, 70, you know.
Some of them are embedded in a particular creams, normal creams.
Yes, I know.
You understand?
Most of our creams is
only SPF.
for albinos?
Only even you and a normal person. What I said is, if it's 50%, it's good for albinos. But for people who wear dark skin, 15% is recommended because
50 and above. Because you have 70%.
Yes,
so if I use 50 or 70, what will be any side effects?
On what side effects again? The only thing, the thing they may hit.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's get back to stigmatization. We have talked about it. You have told us how you handled your own when you were growing up. Did you have any such experience too?
Not really.
Melvin,
not
yes,
really.
I was quite battling with you.
Melvin. Not really. Maybe because of the background I have, I don't know. Okay. But no stigmatization when I was growing up. No.
Okay.
I mixed up with people, I mixed up with friends, you know, even in school also.
There's something I've also noticed about albinos. It looks as if they look alike.
That's what they always, that's what people always say.
I'll tell you why I said that. You look like Blondie right now. Sandra Akpa is a colleague.
Yeah.
You know, I know very well, and you know, she does her job very well. So I've been looking at you, I've been looking at her. I'm like, you look alike. There's this thing with albinos. Is it genetic too?
I think it's nature. I don't know.
It's nature. Okay, we're coming back to that. We'll have a video we'd like us to watch. It's a testimony of perhaps how somebody has handled this situation and they're scared.
Albino can barely see or write. He cannot stay in the sun for a few seconds. You start burning. Albinism is cancerous to a large extent. So the awareness should be heightened. So in terms of violence, you look at it in some other parts of the world. They use albinos for rituals, for a whole lot of nasty things.
If anybody discriminates against them, it must be out of ignorance. But if such things happen, then the government, I think by sensitization, you know, telling people, training people, sensitizing them maybe through the social media or anyhow, for them to realize that these people are not any different from themselves. They are not inferior. In fact, they might even be superior in that the cognitive memory is better than the ordinary person, and then they should also be protected because of their skin. They shouldn't be exposed to too much sunshine or sunlight. So the government could do something for them, people that have that, maybe provide them with a good job opportunity in school. They should be protected, maybe given maybe like face cap, I think, protect them from the sun. They should not be left uneducated, so they have to like hawk things and then move around and be affected by the sun, which could cause them skin cancer or anything like that.
Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended for Nigeria. The first one there is right to life. Every human being has a right to live, and it's a United Nations recognized human right. So people who discriminate are violating laws of nature, laws of global community through the United Nations, and laws of Nigeria, because the constitutional law is that we should allow everybody access to life without this free living as God has destined it. So if you are discriminating against albinos, it's not good, and you should have a change of heart. And even we are Christians in this part of the country. Our Christian life tells us we should love our neighbors as ourselves. Even the Muslims have been opportune to live among them before. The Quran believes that everybody should live in peace and harmony.
The people in Tanzania, probably the government, I believe, should create a kind of an agency that will enlighten the people so that they will understand why they are having that declaration. It has nothing to do with it doesn't affect people. It's just a natural mutation, or what they call it. That is what it is. And I think they shouldn't be discriminated, and people need to be enlightened.
Sensitization is highly needed through all medias, even going to the market, to tell them that they are just people like us. there's nothing different. That just people like us, they didn't want to be an albino, but they came to the world as an albino, so they don't have choice to change it. But I think it's just mentality. We need to reform our thinking.
The fact that people think you do not deserve or you do not earn what you have, it's ridiculous. And like I always tell myself that, oh my God, my sons will ask me one day, Mommy, why are you different? Or one day my boys will go to school and then their classmates will be like, why is your mom different? Or they will be like some stare, and then my boys will be uncomfortable. So now as a mom, I'm educating myself that it will get to a point where this will happen to my boys and I'll have to explain the whole albinism to them. And really, a dark-skinned mom will never do that. You will just blend in. But I would have to teach my kids albinism at some point.
Okay, welcome back. That's Street Walk. We'll bring you the testimony later, please. I hope you don't mind. Okay, now that we are back, we want to look at the activities of 2022 International Day for Albinos. So what activities have you mapped out for that?
One of the activities is why we're here, sensitization, and for people to know what is albinism all about. And I know all over the world people try to put up a lot of activities to mark the International Albinism Day. There's one of my friends that told me that she wants her voice to be heard in the society, so she's going to gather people together and plant trees. Because, and I asked her why, she said, because of the issue of climate change. So planting trees is also part of it to help restore the nature.
Okay, but let me ask you this, but before you continue, do you have an organization here? Do you have a body?
Yeah, yes, I have an organization. We have an organization, and they actually had an activity on Saturday. You know, today is Monday, so they actually had an activity to tell people, they bring albinos and the larger society, because it's the society that discriminates against albinos. Albinos don't discriminate against themselves. And the society does that because of ignorance. So when we bring them together, we mix up together, they ask each questions and we explain. It's part of it.
You know, this stigmatization, something like you said, is the society. They always find something to talk about. I remember when I was small in primary school, I stopped going to school when my elder sister finished because they will always bully me. You are too dark. This and that. They still knock on my head and still talk to me. So I came back and told my sister I won't go to school. I told my mother I won't go to school again. And they started doing school run for me. You know, that kind of a thing. So it's not like it's peculiar to this. They will always find something to tell you, something to bully you about.
Ours is different because our complexion is different from yours. You understand? Nigeria, you know, more or less, it's been dominated with dark skin. So Fafuzianya want the very fair.
Africa generally.
Africa generally, yes.
We are dark people.
Fafuzianya want the very fair, you know, or, you know, Onyota.
Onyocha is not a bad thing. If they call you Onyocha, it's a compliment.
It's not a compliment. It's not a compliment because
they do it. They more or less.
They'll get you. Yeah.
You understand? So
it's not
Don't you think it's because of the way you're taking it? Because when we talk about the bullying, I'm a victim time and time again. You see, even my colleagues here at the office look at me and say, "Man, and brings your darker than the black." You know, but I take it in Bushcraft, and I look at them and I'm like, you know, black is beautiful. But I'm just saying, there are some other people you talk to and tell them, "Nah, man, you're too black."
They will take offense,
and they could just go and hang their life at the end. So I don't know, but I feel like
even I said everybody has his own problem that he faces. You're facing your too dark. Many people face that are too fair or they are too short. And because an albino will not see the board, you understand? He has the view.
Even with the spec?
Even with the spec.
Yes, even with the spec.
You need to, like when I was in school, when I was in primary school, I had a special seat. Aside the normal first row. have a special state. It's an arrangement I had. My parents are enlightened, so they make that arrangement. You understand? Now,
I did also.
Okay, she did, and I've heard Blondie say she also did. It helps you when you get closer to the board, so that you can be able to write. Now, some parents that are not aware of these peculiarities about albinism, or probably the albino child is very tall. Or for them one on you, and that person I'm not copy here about or man copy. Open a copy ya drug juju, maybe teacher draw ya draw Maria or Furia or so upon no Maria or Furia. So I'm more I'm in a class, in more I'm in a class, it's no mother's uncle.
It's true.
I go on supervisions and I see them in classes. So what I do is once I get to a class and notice that an albino is behind the class, I'll just walk up to the teacher and I'll tell the teacher, Biko, Mpwa, rearrange your class. This albino has to come to the front. No sentiments there, just because of the sight, because of the vision. Onodonazo, he won't be able to see.
I think teachers of now, our present teachers of this time, should be enlightened enough to a point that they should know these are some of the challenges the albinos have, and
yes,
they shouldn't be.
We are doing that. We are going to schools and we are.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to ask. The sensitization, and then too, maybe because of the number of people that are albinos are not much. Otherwise, is it possible we create a special school for them?
No, it's not. You're not going to create. No, you're not going to.
It's not advisable.
You hardly see them. When I had a program 2 years ago, and I want to have all the albinos in primary school in Anambra, both government and privately owned. There are less than 1,000 in the primary that came. Maybe there are more than that, but it's only about 1,000 that came. And I said, come with your teacher. The teacher of that particular class, the person is. You understand? It helps with this education we're talking about. Now, creating a special school is like making a bigger...
Making them feel inferior. Yes, making them feel
and it costs the government. You know?
Just bring the person closer. They shouldn't feel inferior. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be rounding up very soon. If there are questions you need to, ask, if there are contributions you need to make, the numbers are there, but I don't know how much time we have. Quickly, before we go, Melvin, what would you be saying to people? Because a lot of people would, just like the caller, a lot of people will be looking out to hear what you have to say to albinos who feel I don't belong. I don't belong to this set of people. I don't belong to the society. What will I say? What will I do? How can I get there?
I always tell them not to feel inferior because you're not inferior. Build your self-esteem. Have that confidence that since a dark person can do it, I too can do it.
From our Facebook wall, we have these two messages that came in. The first one, okay, let me start with the second one that asked the question. Ike Chukwuchibeze said, but is there any medicine, I think that's what he wants to say, is there any medicine a pregnant woman can take to avoid albino child?
No medicine as far as I know.
Well, if you want to get married and you don't want to have an albino child, you go for DNA test. You check your DNA of both the man and the woman before marriage. If you don't, you don't want to take care of an albino child.
Do you still look for albino in DNA test?
Yes, you trace it. If it's there, then you don't want to have it.
How do you trace it? The person doesn't have enough melanin or what?
It will show in your DNA. Once you go for a DNA,
okay.
Everything will show.
Okay.
So if you don't want to have an albino child, the way you go for your genotype and the blood group, go for DNA. Tell them you want to trace for albinism.
So question answered.
Okay, question answered, and then the last person is just commending you guys. He said, Auntie J, kudos to you. You albinos are normal human beings like us and ought to be treated as such.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank
you. Thank you. Okay, Ebere.
Well, it's always amazing to have great minds you know, talking about the International Albinism Awareness Day. Quickly, I told you we're rounding off. What would be your message to, you know, parents out there that will give birth to an albino child? A parent has given birth to an albino child. What are your words to them?
For parents that give birth to an albino child, you have a treasure, and you have to nurture the treasure for you to reap the fruits of your labor. Give the child the best of education. Is a tool for him to conquer the society. Don't make it look so special. Allow the child to mix up. Build the self-esteem. I tell you, in years to come, you'll be happy you did that.
Amen. And Melvin, your last word as to go.
You don't have to wallow in self-pity. Albinos don't have to wallow in self-pity.
Spot on. Albinos don't wallow in self-pity.
Thank you very much.
All right, I want to say a very big thank you to our guest this morning who's been able to tell us more about the Albinism Day and why it's important for people to understand how they function. All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Chidimma Ramali, she is a girl child development advocate and also an albinism counselor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And of course, Melvin Anamaleze, she is a civil servant and albinism right activist. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, it's time for us to go, IJ.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. It is Monday, is an extension of June 12 holiday.
Yeah, holiday was yesterday. June 12 was yesterday.
Yes, so today is the holiday.
We're having the holiday.
So why is it happening? Okay.
Right after now. All right, thank you so much for joining us. I'll be very good now.
Have you ever given up something